Yo, what is going on, Casually FC? Welcome to the Casually FC channel. Welcome to a Casually FC Reacts video today. Today we're going to be reacting to our good friend, and I have to say that ahead of time as a pretense, our good friend Alexis Kavkas View. He made a video that caught my attention. Kai Havertz, £75 million flop, Mason Mount, not Chelsea starter quality, which had me intrigued because lately the fan base has been back and forth between Havertz and Kai. Both need to be benched. Havertz needs to be sold in the summer. Even some fans saying that Mason Mount needs to be sold in the summer or needs to leave the club, which it's been bad lately. And, you know, we like Alexis, so I know I see Kavkas View in the chat. We might not even cook you. We might actually agree with you, but we have to see. We have to see. Look, you guys already know. I like Havertz. He's my favorite player in the team, but I say it like it is. He hasn't been up to par. He hasn't been performing well, and I'm hoping he picks it up later in the season, but we'll see. I want to see what Alexis has to say, and we'll see what we agree on, what we don't agree on. I don't know what to expect with Alexis. He always has a unique point of view, which is why we like his videos. And, you know, congrats on the 20K, Alexis. Big up on you for achieving that milestone, and more to come from Alexis. So make sure you do check out his channel. The original video is also down in the links below, but big up everyone who is here. And yeah, make sure you're smashing those likes buttons. Make sure you are subscribing. Make sure you are hitting that bell notification so you don't miss any of our future streams during this international break. We'll be doing 2 streams this weekend, so make sure you're tuned in for that. And then make sure you're leaving a comment down below. Let us know what you think. Super chat and super thanks options are available, and other links in the description are also available. So let's go ahead and is this the first time you watching the video? Yeah. We have not seen the video. We don't know what you're going to say. We don't know what's going to happen. But unlike if they're horrible to me, this guy's hilarious.
Hey, still pumps up the algorithm.
There you go. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started. You guys let me know if you hear the audio just fine. All right.
I like Mason Mount. I hate Kai Havertz. I hate Kai Havertz. I love Mason Mount. This is a story that is constantly being shadowing these two players every single time they step the field. And the reason being is because people want them to be the finished article at a very early age. One's 23 in Kai Havertz and the other is 24. Yet people hold them to high standards of a Haaland, an Mbappe, a Kevin De Bruyne, a player that is creme de la creme, GOAT status. Today, we are going to talk about this on the Kavkas View. We're going to break it down nice and simple. The Premier League stats for Kai Havertz and Mason Mount, their returns, and whether it's good enough for Chelsea to where they want to go to. We're going to talk about their strengths and their weaknesses. We're going to break out the details because I'm sick and tired of it, because a lot of people are using context to shoot their agenda. Today, I'm going to give you an unbiased view, and then I'm going to give you my perspective.
And I will say ahead of time too, if I remember correctly, Alexis likes Kai Havertz, or likes Kai Havertz to the point where like he wants him to work out, kind of how I feel about it. So I really want Kai Havertz to succeed in this club, and I think Alexis feels the same way. But it's going to be interesting to see his unbiased view and see if it agrees with me. Or yeah, there you go. Alexis.
I think every Chelsea fan wants him to work out though. You spent 75 million.
You think so?
Yeah, of course. I feel like every Chelsea fan wants him to work out. Like, why wouldn't you want him to work out? We've invested quite a lot into Kai Havertz.
I feel like a lot of fans really want him gone this summer. And you know what? I'll admit this. And Winter, you may have seen this. I was on Lewis's stream the other day, and Lewis proposed a very, very, very good question to me that no one's asked me before, because I've been saying that I'm not willing to let Kai go this summer. So the thing is, if this summer happens and Kai doesn't perform up to par, we either have to re-sign him or pretty much let him go on a free, because by this summer he'll be 1 year left on his contract, I believe.
It was 2, isn't it?
I thought so.
All right, it might be 2. So
wait, no, yeah, we think it would be 2.
Okay, yeah. Even if it's 2, I think that's like around the area where you want to actually
you start renegotiating. Right? Yeah,
so skip to 130.
Yeah, so okay, we'll skip to
122.
122. There you go. So when he asked me that, like, if Kai Havertz doesn't perform, then am I willing to re-sign him, pay him more wages?
No.
Then the question is no. Then at that point, I have to sell him, right?
Yeah.
So he got me there, and now I'm on the fence about it. I went from not selling Kai Havertz to now being on the fence about it, depending on his form. So that put a lot into perspective for me, and might put a lot of perspective to you guys as well. So let me go ahead. Alexis says skip to 122. I am looking at the StreamYard, not the video. Oh, we skipped through the promo. Make sure you guys are smashing the like on this video if you do go to the original video in the description. All right, let's get to it.
Start with a golden boy, and when I say golden boy, I mean Mason Mount, right? Mason Mount has come through the academy, and at Chelsea, we don't have many players that come through the academy and become regular. So whenever someone comes, we're very protective over them. This is the same with Callum Hudson-Odoi. The same was with Josh McEachran. The same is with John Terry. I dare someone to say something negative about John Terry, and Chelsea fans, 90% of them are going to be on your neck. They're going.
All right, excuse my ignorance. Andrew, help me out here. Who is Josh McEachran?
So Josh McEachran was a youngster in a batch of 3 or 4 with Jeffrey Brumer and Patrick Van Aanholt around the 2009-2010 season, or 2010-2011 season. Was the with Gael Kakuta as well. Was the next? Those 4 were seen as the next lot to step up.
Okay.
Since John Terry. Now, Josh McEachran.
Whatever happened to that?
Josh McEachran was a very slender, small player, like Billy Gilmore, but with less tech. But there was hope for him. There was hope for Brumer, who was a Dutch defender, and everyone knows Van Aanholt as a wing back and everything like that. And then Gael Kakuta, who ironically got our first transfer ban when we signed him in the late aughts. But they were about those 4 together were seen and mentioned by Ancelotti at the time as like the next, they're going to step up. They're going to be the future of the club. Obviously, that never happened. Josh McEachran went down the leagues. I don't even know where he is now. I know he played for Brentford about 3 or 4 years ago before they obviously stepped up in the Premier League. But apart from that, I know Brumer's gone back. I think he's played for PSV. I know Van Aanholt, of course, we've seen with Sunderland, then Crystal Palace, and then Kakuta. I don't know where Gael Kakuta is. I presume back in France. Ignorance. So
these guys basically didn't really succeed in the first team.
No, they were thought they were hyped up as much as you can hype up during those days without social media.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? They were.
Because I was watching Chelsea back then. I just don't remember these players.
Yeah, they hardly played.
Names.
They hardly played.
Okay.
They were hyped up, but Ancelotti hardly played them because he doesn't really play youngsters. Or a bunch of them.
He never really does. Yeah.
So he's one of those. So they weren't really used under ADB and so forth. So it's all there. They were hyped up, but never happened. So
gotcha.
Going to be saying, how dare you talk about John Terry like that? He's the greatest thing since sliced bread. So now when we look at Mason Mount, we need to break down his statistics and look at what he's doing. Before we start, Mason Mount has played in the front 3 predominantly of his whole EPL career. Don't let anyone else fool you. He has consistently, under Lampard, played on the left-hand side or on the right. Don't let anyone else.
I just really need to look at this. 111 games, 8,516 minutes, 96 starts, 24 goals, 20 assists, 77 minutes per game. Oh my days. He scores close to a 1 in 4 rate starting. He has played in multiple positions, but majority in front 3. Give me your thoughts. Then he has the other stats of his whole career. So junior, Eredivisie. I'm starting to think, did Johnny take these stats and make his Twitter posts off of this?
Probably.
You know the one I'm talking about?
Probably.
If there's anything to do with Mason Mount, Johnny's probably seen it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what Johnny hasn't seen about Mason Mount.
I feel like he took this and just ran with it because he just made that. You guys probably know what I'm talking about. He made that post.
I will say,
he's first and everything and all that. What are you saying?
Mason Mount does take a lot of corners and everything, so I wonder how many assists of like those 20 assists he has from the corners.
Yeah, if you take away the corners, that assist is probably really, really low, and that's very poor for 111 games when you think about it.
Yeah, like I
It's
know he takes a lot of
insanely
corners,
poor.
so
Let
like,
me.
he just
like-
I just want to respond to William Mitchell. I've just played my
Go for it.
voice back on the stream. My microphone is not crackling, so if it is cracked, that's you issue. It's not me at all. So I just played it back on the stream. My mic is not crackling this time. So and the others would have said so. So there we go.
Well, is
Sorry
this
about
mic
that, I
crackling
just
for
wanna-
you, Chris?
yeah, a little bit.
Oh yeah, it is a
When you
little
said
bit. Yeah. Sorry.
I don't mind it, fair.
Yeah,
It's not that
I don't
bad to
mind
me.
it. I'm used to it already. But yeah,
It's a shame, man.
the numbers I always see is an open play. What's up, Explosive?
Oh, it is now.
This
Christ
is Chelsea
almighty.
career. It's okay. Leave it
Hang
alone.
on.
It'll be fine.
I'm gonna come back. Hang on. Don't just carry on.
Honestly,
Okay.
I forget about
I
half
got
the
you.
time,
Got you.
until you mention
But
it.
it's a really good thing you brought that up though, because yeah, he does take all the set pieces, and when you take into account that he takes all the set pieces, it's actually mad to see how low this actually is. Yeah, that's not good.
I
at all.
honestly
The
don't
bar's in
really-
the mud pretty much.
when I watch Mason Mount, like obviously, like people maybe because he plays attack, but I don't really look at him just as a player. Like, oh, he has to create and score time because he does offer a
Mhm.
bit more, like just in score and assists. Like I prefer maybe to play Mason Mount as a centre mid, but he hasn't
Well,
really had a chance
I mean,
under
give me an example. I
under
don't dis-
Temple Lampard. No, it's just his work rate and everything, and
Okay.
like he can link up and everything, and everything like
Mhm.
that. But like, I'm not saying like
Yeah.
I'm not like like Johnny or something say he's world class because I don't think he's world class. I just think he's a decent player to have in the squad. I don't think he should play every game or nothing like that. That's what you
On his day, and I see what you mean. On his day, like when he plays well,
Yeah.
when he's playing well, because he's not a bad player. Again, I don't think he's a bad player. But on his day, when he's playing well and he's in good form, his link-up play with the wingbacks is very, very important. It's very, very crucial. And I'm not saying he's the only one that can do it. There are other players in the team that can do it. We've seen Kai Havertz do it, but it just hasn't been there lately, and it's really
Oh yeah, this
disappointing.
season he's really stinked it up. Like he's been awful. So
Mhm. Yeah.
no one can defend him. Well, I say no one, but there's a few probably.
There's a few, yeah. All right, let's continue.
He has consistently, under Lampard, played on the left-hand side or on the right-hand side of the front three. Under Tuchel, he has been in behind the strikers the whole time predominantly. One or two occasions, don't let that, okay? So he's played 111 games. In those 111 games, he started 96. 96 starts. Very good. 8,500 minutes nearly racked up within the Premier League. That is an abnormal amount of minutes for a person that is 24 years old. It means he's seasoned. He has become a veteran of this team. He is a consistent starter. Let's look at his return. His return, 24 goals and 20 assists. Is that good enough for Chelsea at this moment in time to play in their front three? That is a question that a lot of people are scared to ask because of the protection this player receives. Mount is a very good player. And I've said this on numerous occasions. Mason Mount has a lot of key strengths. And let's look at them right now. His work rate. I hate going to that
Chris, you called
because
it.
a lot of people use it as a negative. It should be assumed. It's not though. Because a lot of players don't have work rate. Number two, his versatility. He can play.
I hate to admit it, but Ziyech, Pulisic, lack of work rate.
Yeah, some people.
Actually, to be
some
fair,
players do
Pulisic
like
is
it.
a lot better about it, but Ziyech is not. The
Oh yeah,
best when it
Ziyech
comes
is
to
a
work
lazy
rate.
player.
Romelu is another one. Ugh.
Yeah,
That's
he's a bit of a
terrible.
lazy player.
But did you
Then-
hear what he
yeah.
said? 96 starts. And
Yeah.
To have those stats.
I told
and to
you-
be on
I
set
told you the other-
pieces?
I told you the other day he's approaching 170 games for Chelsea already.
God damn, that's
170.
like people. I'm not making this up. When I actually cringe, it's serious. Like hearing these stats and knowing the output is making me cringe so hard. If any criticism I have about Alexis so far is that he's making me cringe with these stats, and it's absolutely annoying me. But it's not his fault. He didn't make Mason Mount the player he is. You know, he's only.
He's just
stating
not a
the
natural,
facts.
natural attacker to me. Like, and that's what he is. He's more of an 8, but
Ugh.
we don't get to see him play there, so he has to play wherever he
Yeah.
plays, and he
And-
will
and-
take criticism for it. So
Who was it too? Like he will have at this point in his career, he is past Lampard when it comes to starts, right?
I believe so.
I think so. Yeah.
I believe so, yeah.
It's
And
probably
does he
close.
even have the same goals and assists that Lampard would have had? I don't know.
I think
I
he
remember.
did in one of the seasons because Johnny kept banging on about. Like I only know because he had Johnny. I think he did beat Lampard at goals and assists put together in one season. I forget which season he said it in now, but yeah, like I think one of the seasons only.
It's okay. He now just has to go 8 straight seasons of 20 plus goals.
Yeah,
there you go.
Nearly 15
Exactly.
assists to match him. So
Sheesh. Mason Mount, I think he could do it. I think you know what, Mason Mount, I think
you
he
are
could do
out of your goddamn.
he ain't no Lampard.
Yeah.
it.
See you later. You going to prison?
Man, I love
Yeah.
Lampard.
Send yourself
my
to prison,
days.
bro.
Let's go.
A lot
Criminal
of different
takes here.
positions to a very good standard. He can do a job as a winger. He can do a job as a 10. He can play as 8. Whether it's to a fantastic level where he can be world class, that is debatable, but he can play those different roles. More importantly, he's got a very can-do attitude. And I think managers will always go towards that. They will love that. They will lean on that because it's dependent. Mount most likely.
I agree with that. I agree with that can-do attitude. That's one of the things that I've said to on other panels that like people that argued that Mason Mount wouldn't start for a Man City or a Liverpool or whatnot. Name X team. Like obviously depending on the quality, maybe he doesn't start, maybe he's on the bench, but he would make it very hard. Alexis worded it a lot better than I did. I said that he's more of a teacher's pet in a sense, and he would work his way through the. Look who decided to come back to the channel. I was just thinking of him lately, but sounds like a description of a.
But
good
that's why
McDonald's.
I keep saying to people.
Yeah.
He's going to end up being, if he stays at this club, or like our version of Milner, like Henderson. Not right now, but in their early careers they were like this, or even older fans like a Darren Fletcher for Manchester United, that dependable player that's always there. Does a few good things here and there, but do you know what I mean? It's going to be like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's never gonna hit the ceiling that the mountebators think he can hit. Yeah. It's just true. He's never going to hit it what they want. That's why I don't criticize him, because I don't expect him to ever hit those. Yes, Spencer's right. Milner. That's what I mean. I'm not dissing.
Yeah.
When I say James Milner, I mean in his prime, the one playing for Villa, the one playing for City.
It was always quality.
Yeah, he was quality. That's why Man City bought him from Villa. He was quality. Stuff like that. That's what I'm talking. I'm not talking about now. And Darren Fletcher. Darren Fletcher's a very underrated player. He's not fanciful, you know what I mean? But that dependable player that's always there, who knows how to do his job. Isn't spectacular, will do it now and again. But that's what I think he'll end up being. I know his height, and that's why I don't criticise him that much. A, because I'm bored, and B, because there's just no point at all. There's just no point.
But like, I would even say that I remember Milner being more impactful in games consistently back when he was in his prime than Mason Mount now. But then again, Mason's not technically in his prime yet. He's still developing, I guess. But I don't know. Let's continue this.
Likely will get you a 6 out of 10 to an 8 than he is to drop a stinker or a world-class performance. He is Mr. Reliable. It's why players like Azpilicueta have had such long careers at the top level. When you're reliable, it's a great strength. It means the manager will trust you, because if you misperform and you're a flip-flop player, what happens? Likely it is the manager's going to get sacked at a club like Chelsea. And finally, Mount, the reason he's accumulated so many minutes, he doesn't get injured. He looks after his body fantastic.
That's a really fair point. I can't remember the last time Mount got injured. Wasn't it the season Tuchel came in? He got injured for a bit.
Maybe.
That's about it, though.
There is a downside to this, because he plays nearly all the time for us and all the time for England. He very rarely gets a rest.
Yeah, it's true.
He's approaching 24, and we're already talking about him. In the next 2 games, he will reach 170 games. Just for Chelsea. I'm not even counting Derby. I'm not even counting Vitesse, stuff like that. Just for Chelsea alone, 102. Yeah, look at N'Golo, exactly. 170 games for Chelsea alone in all competitions, and I bet like that average is 77 minutes out of those 111. That's just in Premier League. So he plays three quarters of the games. He averages, yeah, and he plays in different positions as well, yeah. So I'm worried about this kid being done at 26.
Yeah,
like physically, or picking up injuries like N'Golo. That's what
it's like a
he
burnout.
will start to do it. He will break down.
I felt like Rooney burnt out pretty quick as well. Like obviously, Rooney lasted probably
Rooney hit
longer,
30
26.
Rooney hit,
he burnt out fully.
Yeah,
well, I think even a little bit earlier in 30, but like he burnt out quickly. He played a lot of games too.
Yeah, like Ramsey. Yeah, like Ramsey.
Like Ramsey dead finished, but
Wilshere.
Wilshere. Yeah,
Wilshere had chronic injuries. Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm worried about him breaking down.
Yes.
Never not contributed to a 90-minute game when he's been on a team sheet. Yeah, I mean,
has he played 90 minutes this season?
Rooney had jackpot at 21. Oh my days! I was gonna ask you guys. I know there was international games today. Did England play today? Or is England even playing during the international break?
As far as I'm aware, no.
Okay, so we'll see if Mount plays on Friday. Most likely he will.
He'll play one of these two games 90 minutes.
He'll come on or start, yeah.
But I tell you why, because we've not played. We've only played one game in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, he's definitely
playing.
Yeah, he's definitely going to play. You're right, you're right.
Oh, we're playing.
Let's continue the video.
He's a mono professional, and that tells you a lot about the player. The negatives in Mason Mount. Like I said, it's his versatility. Because he's played so many different positions.
Stens makes a good point. Even when he's benched, he comes on.
Yeah.
So he's even involved in that. I bet the times. I bet Stens is right.
That's true.
I know he's looked at this. So I bet every time he's got benched, even in cup games, I bet you he's come on. League Cup, FA Cup. I bet you he's come. Champions League. I bet you he's come on. Even on Tuchel's first game, I think he was benched and he came on. So
yeah, against Wolves he came on. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did.
Like and share the video, please, guys, and subscribe if you haven't done already. We're close to 1.4k subs, so
yes, let's get that 1.4k, please, ladies and gents. All right, let's continue. Let me rewind a little bit and go.
Like I said, it's his versatility because he's played so many different positions in front of the front three. Sometimes have to drop. He doesn't know how to play his actual position, which is he's too ill-disciplined to play the 8. He is goal hungry. He likes to get the credit. He likes to be on the end of things. He doesn't like to create. It's not in his nature. His nature is I want to score the goal or I want to get the assist. Make sure I'm in the final third to do so.
Mate, if you want to get the assist, then you should really work on your final third passing. It's consistency.
Your decision making. Yeah, your decision making.
And the decision making.
Decision making's not.
Yeah, decision making.
I mean,
I do agree. Mount does like to score though. Like he likes to get
so far, I'm not disagreeing with Alexis here. He's spitting facts, and it's pretty spot on.
I don't know if that's weakness. That's not weakness. He was saying, was it? That he likes to score.
Yeah, it is. One of his one of his strengths is also his weakness, is his versatility and his inability to really learn that number 8 position. Which I don't know. That's still up for debate. If people want to say that he's at his best at a number 8 or as a number 10, like. I don't know. It's hard for me to
listen, I know
say.
Frank Lampard, his early career, even early at Chelsea, he was a shoot first kind of player. The brain, the assist and the decision making came later, like from Mourinho's first season onwards. His decision making got better and better and better and better and better as seasons went on. Can he do that? In terms of, I'm not expecting the goals of Lampard at all. I'm expecting maybe the decision making to be a lot better.
And I know he has it. Like I remember one of my favorite Mount plays was in that Champions League group stage where he one touch long passes it to Callum, and Callum scored from across the pitch. That was a beautiful pass. You remember which one I'm talking about? I forget what team it was.
Rennes? Was that away at Rennes or Lille?
I don't know if it was Rennes. I think it was one of the other teams in that group stage. Maybe someone in the chat remembers which exact play I'm talking about. But he has the creative mind. He has a playmaker's mind. It's just the execution that's always what we get frustrated about, and the timing of it all. You know, it was Ren C1. All right. So yeah, it was against Ren where he had that magnificent pass to Callum, and Callum actually scored it. So he has it in him. He has great creativity and versatility. I don't even remember where he played in that game. Was he playing as an A, or was he playing as a left attacking mid? I don't remember. But well, yeah, we'll see. It's the execution for me. Let's continue.
He'll only pass when he needs to. Is that a bad thing? Yes, when you're primarily a midfielder who needs to be judged on his creativity in the final third, Mount can be coming across very selfish at times. Another issue I have with Mason Mount is the weight of his passing. He is not a great passer. He is
Literally
a safe
just said
passer.
that. Yeah.
He will never try the elaborate pass. He won't go for the high risk volume pass. And that needs to change if he's going to be Chelsea's number 10. Because Chelsea's number 10 needs to be a creative phenomenon. It needs to be a top player. And the worrying aspect is, I don't see Mount trying to change that. Very safe, very quick to delegate responsibility just to get in the box and try to score a goal. And this really infuriates. His ability to go past the man, it's a bit average because he's not very explosive. He's just a good athlete. He's not a great athlete. That's saying he's a good player. And to have him in the squad is an asset. To have him as a starter is a little bit of a worry. It's a different aspect. But people go saying he doesn't belong in the team. You're going too far.
All right. Mount doesn't have.
I agree. In terms of his passing, when he gets the ball, sometimes he doesn't look up when he passes. And then he passes and runs forward without realizing if it's a good pass or not. Saw it a few times recently where he just gets the ball, pass it forward, then lifts up his head, then realizes the ball wasn't on. It's not a good pass. So he does it multiple times. So it's I don't know. Can he learn? Can he learn from that? Can he learn? I don't know. We're approaching 24 now. Approaching 24. Yeah. I don't know if he can. Something that
I think we'll know in a couple of years of it though, because if he gets past 26, then if he's still doing the same, we know he's not going to learn after that, for sure.
Yeah, the thing is though, if you constantly see it, it's not changed. He does it all. It's done it from since he started with us. So the point where he gets the ball, heads up, or like Alexis says, he either pushes the ball expecting the ball back. Or,
what I was going to say.
He's passing it to the other player and then going for the run. But he doesn't look up to where he's passing, and then the ball either doesn't reach the player, or he hits it too hard, or it's too, or it hits the defender and stuff like that.
And we see the same issue with Pulisic too, which Explosive mentioned there too. Jorginho, yes, but not as much as Pulisic or a Mount have in the past. He doesn't have the creator gene for me. His chance creation relies on sheer volume. I don't disagree, but I feel like he definitely has creativity in him. It's just the execution, like I said before, is absolutely poor.
Let me ask you a question.
Go for it.
Jorginho doesn't do it, but I know it's in his locker. That ball to Kai Havertz against Salzburg in the second half, where he just gently lifts it over or chips it or whatever, and then right in Kai's path, and all Kai has to do is connect with it properly. And I don't know if it goes in or not, but Kai swipes it and misses. The goal, the last season, the pass to Kai against Newcastle.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see Mount doing that. That type
finishing
of ball,
that type of pass.
Finishing, that type of weighted pass that hits perfectly. I don't see Mount doing that type of pass ever. I know Jorginho can do it. What about that Jorginho pass to Tammy in Frank's first season against Watford, where he literally bends it around the entire base of the midfield and defence? I don't see. Was that Pulisic? Oh, was it Pulisic? Oh, no. Okay. Oh, was it? Okay. Well, okay.
The Newcastle one, was
Newcastle one.
Yeah, the Newcastle one. Yeah,
that was a beautiful ball. I don't
see him doing that because I don't think he would notice. I don't think first he's got the ability. I don't think he would notice that run.
Mm-hmm. I think in that situation, it's exactly what Slen said, where it's that he'll try it 10 times and pull it off once. But Jorginho will intentionally pull it off on his first attempt, kind of thing.
Yeah,
so
one was Jorginho, yeah. But I'm talking about, as Sam says,
yeah.
But that one on the ground, I know he can do it, because that one for Cho was mainly on the ground. That one for James
Cho was a huge long pass.
But that's the one for James against Arsenal. He slides it in like that. That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just talking about that inch perfect ball. I don't see him having the intelligence to do that. At least consistently do that.
I think he has the vision, but it's the technicality to pull it off.
Yeah.
Is what he lacks.
Like say either over or under.
Yeah, I think he sees it, but he just can't do it, and it sucks, because if you're gonna play as a midfielder, you should be able to try to pull those passes off. So I guess it kind of brings us back to that question that Alexis posed, or he didn't really pose, but we posed earlier, is that where is Mount's best position? Because if as a midfielder you can't consistently be creative and execute, then you probably shouldn't be in the midfield, right? Or am I wrong to say that?
Well, I'm not. Listen, KDB. This is what I think was like. I know that type of through ball like a KDB does. I don't think he will ever get. No, that's unfair to Mount. So, but I don't see him that type of player. I don't see him with a threaded through ball that just takes the two defenders out. Something like that. Out of nothing, like a Hazard and that's even high stuff. Do you know what I mean? Or even like a Lampard, or like a Steven Gerrard or something like that. I just don't see him. I don't think he's got the ability, or it's like I say, it's volume. If the game was on the line and I needed him to do it that one time only, and he only had that chance to do it, I don't see him doing
money. Yeah, I would not put my money on Mount to pull that kind of pass off.
I'd lose my house. So it's like that. It's clutch. Has he got a clutch?
Yeah.
They have clutch finishes. Do you have a clutch gene in terms of passing?
Yeah, and I don't think he does.
I don't think he does.
Really don't think. Damn, that makes the question of where you place Mount on the pitch a lot harder, because I would say like as a midfielder, you have to have that. You have to have that. Like Jorginho is a DM and he has it. Kovacic, he has it. We've seen Kovacic do those types of passes and make very creative plays. Conte, even though his passing isn't there, he creates it through his dribbling, right? Mason
he creates
doesn't
it
really
just by
have
breaking.
it.
He creates it just by breaking up the play and handing the ball to
and
someone
that too. That as well. But does Mason have any of that really? Is he dominant in any of those aspects? No.
What I always with Mason Mount, tell me what he does well without mentioning pressing and working hard.
Damn it.
So work rate is like his main thing for me.
I know.
No, but tell me what he does well without mentioning work rate and pressing.
Being available.
What is he really?
I need a cricket soundboard on this thing.
Chris, you're available to play. You'd be available to play.
Hey, like after lockdown, man, I kept getting injured, man. It's horrible.
You'd be available to be paid hundreds of thousands of pounds a week, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I make sure I'm fit.
Yeah, exactly. You would lie about your fitness.
I'll be perfect for that back three. I play right centre back for him.
Exactly.
Oh my
right
days!
Back. Don't do anything.
Well, maybe Alexis has an answer for us, because I don't think we do. I can't figure it out. All right, let's continue.
People saying he's a guaranteed nailed-on starter, you're going too far. He's in the middle. I think if Mount is one of your best players, you're a top 4 side. You're not going to win the league. Now let's get.
I mean, really I would. It is true, but I would even argue top 4 side with Chelsea right now.
No, like I agree with top 4. Like he is a decent player, but he's not like he shouldn't. Well, I don't think he's one of our best players.
He's not going to carry you to win the league like an Mbappe.
To me, players who are already better in our squad are like.
Hey, Ray Allen, that's a bit harsh, man. That's very harsh.
God damn, bro. Tell me you hate Mason Mount without telling me.
Mount shouldn't get that much hate, man.
Yeah,
Christ. What did he do to you besides look like the handsome face of Chelsea?
That's out of order. Come on. Come on,
Oh, wait,
you don't want any players to die.
I shouldn't have said he's the face of Chelsea. I forgot that's an insult.
Yeah.
We'll go backstage then, yeah? We'll go backstage.
Let's
I
continue.
think Mount is like
What's up?
I would say like I think Mount to me is like top 6 maybe. Trying to think
Top 6
like
in what?
of our players. Like if you think about it, I wouldn't put him top 3 or nothing. I wouldn't put him top 5.
You might be right, but I have to think about it.
You have to think, yeah.
All right, let's continue.
Get into Kai Havertz, because
Oh, boy.
Kai Havertz is one that has been honestly a player that I love. Even from a young age, I think he's had some tremendous talent. And if we break down Kai's stats in the Premier League, the Premier League are simple. 62 games, he started 45 of them. In those 45, he's played 3,800.
I need to see it. Wait. How many minutes did Mason play?
8,000.
That's more than double what Kai has.
But you have
Holy
to remember,
crap.
Kai's had a couple of bouts with COVID.
Yeah.
COVID injury. Okay, fair enough. But still, like, Jesus, you see the stark contrast. It's actually quite crazy.
I guess all his assists are definitely from open play because he doesn't take any set pieces. We know that for sure.
Yeah. 13 goals, 6 assists, 61 minutes per game. He scored 1 and 3. That's not terrible. That's better than Mount from what we've seen. But then again, the average adjusts itself.
He
because
should score more
hasn't played.
on Mason Mount. He's actually naturally.
That's the match
attacking.
Mount has played. 8,000. So he's played nearly 3 times as many.
Or as close to.
Oh, no,
has
about
played
2.5 times. Nearly 2.5 times.
Yeah, people rule him out already. Yeah. All right, let's continue. Wait, what did you read?
No, I was
Okay,
just
let's
reading what
continue.
you're saying.
100 minutes nearly. Mount has played double the minutes that he has in 4 seasons compared to the 3. This tells me one thing. Kai Havertz is extremely misused because he doesn't get the consistency of running games. He doesn't get to build up the volume of repetitions as Mount does. So people are going to get onto him. 1 week you're playing, next week you're not. 1 week you're playing, next week you're not. You're getting subbed on the 60th minute. You're getting brought on the 75th minute. He's got 13 goals and 6 assists. Pathetic, yes, on the front of it. But when
I wouldn't say he hasn't played consistently, though. I feel like last season, towards the end, he had a good run of games, didn't he?
See, it's a bit iffy.
he had.
What I remember, and correct me if I'm wrong, is we started with him in the beginning. He was absolutely putridly poor. He couldn't dribble past anyone. He was one of our worst players. Then Romelu came on. Then Romelu had like 8 straight games where he played like dog shit after that whole scandal with the interview, which we'll talk about it on Sunday. But Pulisic basically following in his footsteps. And then Romelu gets benched, and then we start Havertz again, and then Havertz gets a few bad games, and then we go back to Romelu. I think that's how the season pretty much went with the strikers, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and then we went back to Kai.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like he did get a good run of games.
I think Kai definitely still played more than Lukaku last season, though.
Did he?
I'm pretty sure he did. I can probably look it up like on Transfer Market, because Transfer Market is pretty good for minutes.
Yeah, I don't remember, but I wouldn't say that he's constantly chopped and changed all the time. I think we just go through runs of games where we play with him, we start with him, and then we go through patches where he doesn't start. And I don't know.
Kai in total actually played 3,200 minutes on Transfer Market last season, all competitions.
Yeah, but he's just going on. I think he's just going on Premier League.
Yeah. No, I already knew that. I just seen it anyway.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at it in the bigger picture, yeah, he's chopped and changed. Like, yeah, he gets benched for a few games and then he gets started for a few games in a row. It's not like Ziyech. I feel like Ziyech is the one that, like, and Pulisic too, we'll put him in there. And Pulisic, Cho, and Ziyech, who constantly, they get a few games, play one bad game, they get benched, they put 1 game on, 1 game off, 2 games off, 2 games on. It's in and out of the team constantly. But, all right, let's continue.
when you actually look at it, 13 goals in 45 starts. Well, let's break that down. That's nearly a 1 in 3 rate. Not pathetic, but it's not great. It's average. It's very, very average. And a lot of people have an issue with it because he cost £75 million or £70 million, whatever it was. And my issue is, whilst he cost a lot, he's 23. You bought a 20-year-old. You're buying potential. So what is the issue when you're buying potential?
That's the other thing that I'm glad he's bringing this up, because that is something that I have a problem when people bring up price tags on players and they hang that price tag over their head. First, Havertz didn't choose his price, right?
Of course.
Secondly, let's just say this, right? In another example, in another world, Havertz comes in for 75 mil, and he actually starts banging in goals and being this player that we all thought he would be, the next Michael Ballack, the next whatever. Then no one will be talking about the price. But because he hasn't really, broken records and broken the eye test and all this jibber jabber, now we keep bringing up that price and hanging that over his head like it means everything, which I get it. For a player that costs this much, you expect this much performance. But I feel like there's more to it than that, and Alexis touches on it right there. You're paying for the potential, and with potential comes risks. We had Salah and KDB in the team, and Romelu when he was younger, and there was potential for players there, but they didn't perform up to par. And then we sold them off, and then we saw what happened. The rest is history. Romelu, top goal scorer in the world, as much as I hate to admit that. KDB, one of the best in the world. Salah as well. So I don't know how you guys feel about this price tag argument with Havertz.
See, price tags always gets dragged into like a players, no matter like banter from rivals. Maybe people don't want to get bantered on, because you bought Kai Havertz for 75 million. You know how that is. People probably expect you to perform to your price, or it's just a waste of money. But then no one talks about price. Chilwell. I don't see anyone talk about Chilwell's price ever, because he actually does perform well, and he still is. I think by the looks of it, he's looking good. Same with Cucurelli's performing well for 60 million. No one cares about the price. It's just if you don't perform and you're worth over 60 million, you're gonna get dragged for it. I've seen other players rivals like Pepe, 75 million. Look at how that looked like a rip off. It just happens a lot. So I don't know. I don't think that's really an issue though, for me. When people look at price tags, they should perform a bit better. But he is young, so you have to be a bit patient. I would say I'm a patient person, so
That's great if you're not at Chelsea.
yeah.
Just saying.
No, I can't argue that.
You can't. I keep saying this. It's great to be patient with one or two players. Yeah, we're talking 3, 4, up to 5 players. We're looking to be patient with. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's when it gets out of hand.
And it's at Chelsea we can't do that. We can't afford to do that. Otherwise, we slip further behind, and then then you have to accept that this is a transitioning into something else, and we have to be patient. Then that's fine. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
go on.
I was just gonna ask Andrew, and you too, Chris. Because he mentioned and I'm sure he's talking about being patient with Callum, being patient with Mason, being patient with Pulisic, and all that. If we had, and you know what, here Nicole brings up a pretty damn good comment here. If Manchester City bought Havertz, he would have been given time to develop, not dropped into the deep end of the situation. And I think that's mostly because in Man City, like Foden, he's surrounded by vets of the game, some of the top tier echelon players. He's surrounded by a KDB, De Silva, De Bruyne, Riyad Mahrez, all these in their peak form players, not a bunch of young kids that they're kind of figuring their way through this. So my question is if he was the only one we had to be patient with, say everyone else was more established, then do you think this criticism still happens?
Probably
no. if Lukaku had if Lukaku had hit the ground running and been great and he'd hit 30, 35 goals, there'd be really less pressure on Kai. We'd go, that's okay because we've got Lukaku or other people banging in the goals. Like it was like when Anelka played with Drogba, he used to play out wide.
Yeah.
But because Drogba and Lampard were banging in the goals, no one used to get on Anelka's back. Stuff like that because he sacrificed his game as well. So you know what I mean. So it's like that. It's like we didn't really get on really much on Pedro's back because we had Hazard.
Costa.
You know what I mean? Costa, yeah, stuff like that.
Because I like Pedro. I did.
Yeah.
What do we say?
Even with Willian, with Hazard and Costa, no one even really, maybe the odd one, but no one really got into Willian until especially when Costa left. Like when we was running out of goals, like.
But you know do you know the difference in this one, and it might be us. I don't want it to be. Arsenal were coming off the least successful period during this time. But they've also meshed in an FA Cup during that time as well. That softened the blow, and they saw that the club was going to back Arteta no matter what. You guys at the early part of it, where Arteta were calling for his head. Even last season, you were calling for his head. But because he's been backed and he's blooded these players, they have allowed that. Yeah, and they progressed up the table to 5th, and you're seeing
that's very fair point,
so
Alexis.
They've accepted that. Like I keep saying, the only difference, people are still in a mindset of still having Roman Abramovich tenure. The only difference is in May, if we finish 5th, and it's a distant 5th, and the board come out, and they don't even come out, they just back Potter again. We know they are intent on keeping Graham Potter and backing him in his vision. So our mindset now has to change about how the club is run. And they're going to say, for the first time in 20 years, guys are going to be backed for maybe underperforming in our eyes, but in terms of what we've done previously with Chelsea teams. But, do you know what I mean? So maybe we go, okay, well, now it is a long-term project and we have to get behind. I know people are going to hate that because they're going to go, I don't want to be Arsenal. I don't think it's about being Arsenal. It's about being run properly to build for our future so that we can achieve again. Do you know what I mean? So that we build and we build and we build. You may want him gone, Alexis, but I don't think he goes.
I get it, and I kind of agree because you have the quality of players. You're not Brighton anymore. You have the quality of players to be in top 4. But I feel like it's a little harsh, but I agree. I agree overall.
Well,
and
I don't expect him to be gone unless we are finished. Unless it's a disaster and we finish like well below like 6 or something like that.
And back to the whole idea of if Havertz was surrounded by more talented players, maybe the pressure would be less. I was trying to think of examples where we bought in players and they've been flops and they were overly criticized. But I think the first one that comes to mind is Torres. Even when Torres was at the club and he wasn't scoring in goals like it was at Liverpool, we had Drogba.
Yeah.
We had Drogba and Anelka that, would cover his ass in a sense and help it, help us ride through the season.
But then he scored that goal.
In the semi-final.
Yeah.
He got that goal.
Yeah.
And then the next season he isn't scoring wise. He scored over 20 goals, but most of them were in the Europa League. He got like 12
he got Golden Boot in Europa League, didn't he?
Yeah, exactly.
He did really well.
And that makes me also kind of wish now in hindsight thinking like I kind of wish we kept Giroud for that reason.
Oh, I think Giroud suits this type of formation to a T in terms of holding up the ball, being a physical presence, and being in the box. He will stay in the box for people to cross it in. He will stay in the box.
Yeah,
because he's not going to move anywhere else.
I mean, he's not wrong.
That's what people say about Jorginho as well.
He just won the UCL though.
right, well, never.
Which
All
Kai
right, yeah.
values, I know Kai values higher than the EPL.
Yeah,
He does.
Yeah, you're right. All
That's the
right,
problem.
let's continue the video.
His strengths are his versatility. Once again, like Mount, he can play multiple positions, and he's
I
got the
disagree.
X factor.
Pause it.
A lot
Pause
of people say no, he doesn't.
What did he
Pause
say?
it. I don't think he can play. But I don't think he's versatile. He can't play out
You don't
wide.
think Havertz is versatile?
He can't play out wide. So tell you why. I don't think he can dribble that well. He can't go past the man. He has got no trick to go past the man, and he doesn't create from out wide. He doesn't cross it in or anything. I know there's no people in there, but even like low crosses or anything like that, I never see him out wide do anything, which is really weird. Because when he plays in the middle, he likes to go wide. It's very weird.
Yeah, he does.
It's
Yeah,
very
yeah.
weird. It's like, stay in the frigging middle where your heading is at least decent. Do you know what I mean? But I disagree. He's versatile. I think that was overplayed. In Germany, I think Germany, like Ziyech, I think he was given the label of versatile because of the amount of space he got.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So he could have his time to do whatever out wide.
But
in the Premier League, you don't get that space to do it.
Well, let me ask you boys something. Do you think that that's also because Tuchel, the way he played his wingers, he wanted them to play really, as Pep would say, really wide,
Yeah.
all like touching the line wide. And Havertz to me seems like he likes to like go inside a little more and then drift out. And I don't know. You think that has to do with why he's played so poorly?
The best I've seen him play is when he has someone very close to him, like he does with Germany. Even in the Euros last year, when Gnabry played or Muller played ahead of him, he destroyed Ruben Diaz again when they played Portugal. I think he scored and got an assist, but his movement, he was allowed to drift in, and they didn't pick him up, and that's why I think he will. That's why I understand when people say he's a bit like Muller, in the terms of he likes to do the late runs or the shadow striker role. I think he'd play better off a striker. I think if we'd have kept Giroud, if you'd have a formation where Giroud is the one up front and you have Havertz behind, I think he would play very well off that, because Giroud would be seen as the main
target,
like the ramming machine up there. Do you know what I mean? Like taking the defenders out, and Havertz would be allowed to drift in, finish up, at the back post, finish like that, and because no one would pick him up. That's what I think he would excel at. But in this formation, the 3-4-3, it doesn't allow him to do that. Do you know what I mean?
I see
if
what
we were
you're
to play
saying.
a 3-4-1-2, where he either plays as that one behind the two,
as a 1 to 10,
the shadow behind like a Sterling or a Bamiyang. Maybe he plays it with Bamiyang. That'd be
that's what I was thinking.
Or a Broha.
And that's what I'm also hoping that, like, with Potter, we'll see him play as a number 10 in the middle more, because that's really where I think I see his strengths. The more involved he's in the game, the better he is. I think when he's stuck up top and stuck on the wide and the wing, really only interchanging with the other winger or the other attacking mid, I think you really restrict this game. I think when he's coming in deep from a 10 and given the space to create and give passes or strike, whatever, I think that's when you see the best of Havertz. And best example this season even was the Leicester game when we went one man down, when Havertz had more space because there was a Mason Mount wasn't. You look at the heat map this season, Mason Mount and Havertz seem to get in each other's way more often than I'd like to see it.
The same places,
the same places, and it's annoying, because I'm sure as a player, and we see it happen all the time, as a player, if two people are going for the same ball all the time, that leaves you might as well be playing with 10 men. That leaves you one man down. You one player's out of position, one less option to pass. It's just a shitty situation. So maybe that's an argument for why they both can't play at the same time. But
maybe
when Havertz plays as a 10, I think giving him that space to run up and create something, I think that's his best position. And we haven't seen it happen.
I think you saw a little bit of that against West Ham when Broha and him were on the pitch at the same time.
Yeah.
They had two then focal points the defenders had to pick up. 2 focal points. That one has to obviously go with Broha, look after
Yeah.
Broha. Then Kai's left to drift and finish off that move that from Chilwell. I think he might. That is a thing you could use, and you might find that it takes something like that to bring the best out of Kai.
Yes.
Because by himself, I keep saying this, he's a number 9 who can't finish. He's a winger who can't dribble, will get past or cross to do anything, and he's a number 10 who doesn't create. When I hear people say he's a number 10,
yes.
I don't think they know he's not a number 10 in what the traditional people think number 10s are, like a creative, like a Dennis Bergkamp, stuff like that sits there in the 10 and creates and stuff like that. That's not him. He's more of a shadow type, striker, stuff like that, who will do the late running. And that, if we get if Broha clicks and starts being like the battering ram, which takes up 2 defenders, like Drogba did. I know Lampard played deeper, but the way Drogba used to literally take on that entire defence, which allowed Lampard to arrive late and score those goals.
Yeah.
Or he headed on and Lampard was there, that.
And that example that you brought up, that West Ham game, him, Broja, and Chilwell looked great, linking up together, getting into the spaces, finding each other with passes, breaking the lines. That's what I mean. You know what? You bring up a really good point, Andrew, as always. Let's continue this video, boys.
Costa,
what's up?
God. If he had Costa,
I'm sure.
Kai would feed, because Costa would literally take up. He would battle the whole defence by himself, and they'd forget about Kai. Honestly, they would. Kai needs that he needs that distraction. I'm sure we would see a much better game from him. It just needed to be a better game. He would score. He would score because
I'm hoping that's what Aubameyang can provide too. So
maybe
we'll see.
Maybe Aubameyang can do that. But I know Aubameyang likes to drift out wide sort of thing as well. So that's the thing. Maybe that will help him as well. It's another distraction that way. But it's fascinating to see what Potter does. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah. All right, let's continue, boys.
He does. He can do the flick passes. He can slide the ball through when needed. He can chip a goalkeeper when he's going through. He's technically very secure. And I think this is what people don't understand. He's not easy on the eye in the sense that he can drift past the player. He stays healthy most of the times. The only time he's been injured is when he got ill with the you-know-what. We're not going to call it that. And for me, I think the biggest issue with him is he's so good in multiple positions that managers are so confident in moving him around. Weakness is he's not fantastic in any position. He's not made one position his own. In my opinion, he's a false 9. But he'll get played right wing. He'll get played in the midfield side here and there. He'll get played left wing. He'll get played as a target man striker. I don't understand that. That's his weakness. The fact that there is no one ideal volume of position he's going to have to stick to and just get repetitions in. His finishing can be very inconsistent. He is a finesse finisher. Sometimes Kai let it really frustrate him. On the other times, Kai holds on to the ball for too long. I'm being honest. Can be very weak. Can get out muscled due to his lanky profile. Needs to be a little bit stronger. Kai.
So, two points right there. Would you say he's a finesse finisher?
Yes.
Yeah. He likes to place it in, basically.
He likes the delicate touch. If you notice, I can't remember him ever smashing a ball.
No, he don't.
Even it's placement.
Fair enough. Yeah, you're right.
When have you actually seen, the only time
he's never done like a Mason Mount type of goal?
No,
where he just shoots it from distance.
Just shot, just see what happens. You know what I mean? And even then, and also he doesn't hit the ball sometimes hard enough.
Yeah.
Do you remember? I think we won 5-2 against Crystal Palace. He could have got his hat trick, and he just lightly tapped it when he done that player over, like that really nice.
Dude, he could have got a hat trick against Real Madrid in the second leg. Not this season, but last season.
No, last season. Yeah.
Final.
Yeah.
He could have got a hat trick. He could have got even in the second leg of Bernabeu. I think he wasted a couple of chances. I know he scored in the first leg, but the second leg he had a few chances that were wasted. Yes, exactly. But maybe Kavkas, that's the problem. Maybe he's scoring off the pitch, just
all the
pitch.
So all the smashes, all the smashes going in the bedroom.
Exactly. Exactly.
All the smashes going in the bedroom.
Yeah, accuracy. Yeah. Have to be finesse there, not smashing.
The other thing too is that I understand the physicality argument.
Oh, that's right. Hang on. Sorry. He did smash it. Who was it? Who did he? Was it Leeds or something? Oh no, it was. I think it was Dynamo where he tried to smash it, and it was like a pass back. That's what it was.
Oh dear. So the other thing I wanted to bring up was the physicality thing. I appreciate it, William. Is I look at his body anatomy, right? And you know, pause, just the frame of what could potentially be Kai Havertz when he matures into and grows into his body more and puts up some muscle and stuff. And I could see him being like a real physical specimen, but it's whether or not fans have the patience to wait for that. And yeah, I know he's lanky and he gets pushed about a bit now, but I really feel like that's going to be a strength of his in the future, is the physicality. I don't know if you guys feel the same way. I look at his body proportions and I'm like, he's got like this broad shoulder and he's tall. I feel like with some muscle and some proper training, he could really.
We need to import those Munich supplements, bro. Those Bayern Munich supplements.
Yeah. Okay.
Like Goretzka. Remember Goretzka?
Yes.
Jesus. Like over a summer, he like hulked out or something like
Even
that.
Yes.
Coutinho like got a bit bigger over there.
Yeah, exactly.
Still
We
on
need some of
Coutinho.
that. Yeah. Robert Lewandowski's a freak as well, like that. Do you know what I mean? It's like whatever they're on. That's what we
Maybe
need.
Jim. Maybe they do a gym experience.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to filter the water differently or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
exactly.
Like,
Over in UK, well, London.
Those protein shakes need added stuff to them. That's for sure.
we need that German TRT over at the UK
exactly.
right now.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
We'll just get
That's
Reece
a good-
James to train him.
Oh, that too. Or just train with Reece James more often. We'll see what happens.
Well,
All
Reece
right,
James
let's
can teach
continue.
him.
Havertz has not been a fantastic signing, but he's not been a terrible signing. And I think this is where people
Agreed.
get it wrong. And this is where people will have one metric for Kai and another metric for Mason. And this is the problem. They'll say Mason came through the youth academy. He is perfectly fine to stay. His performances aren't bad. Kai cost £75 million. Whilst I agree, money is important. Once you're a starter for Chelsea, surely there's a volume of level standard, a benchmark performance that you have to be reaching, regardless of your price. And for me, whilst I don't think either one of them has been terrible, I don't think either one of them have been great. They're both in the same boat. They're both tremendously inconsistent, and a lot of that has to do with their age. And we need to give them time. But at the same time, we need to acquire talent that gets the best out. We do.
I did
That's a
not
great
expect
pause, by the
Alexis.
We need.
All right. I did not expect Alexis to actually say that. I really thought we were going to come into this video him saying why Kai should leave the club or Mason. So for him to come out and say that we should give him time is it takes me back a little. And I agree with him. I think we should give them time, but unfortunately we're like you
If
mentioned
you're on Twitter
earlier.
and follow Alexis on Twitter, you would know he backs Kai.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will say, like, if Kai Havertz for me doesn't show any like improvement, and say Bayern Munich came with an offer of 50 million, I would take it. I don't know if he's actually like, if Chelsea or England or whatever, like maybe he just doesn't work out here, and another club offers a decent price, I think I would take it. If he doesn't show any improvement this season and hasn't like an average season again, like the same as the others, maybe I think I would take it. And it's not like me showing hate to him.
You see my face, Chris. It's because it hurts me to agree with that. Because like if I'm a Chelsea fan, yes, as a Chelsea fan, I think it's best for the club. As a Kai Havertz fan, I really, really want him to work out at Chelsea so bad.
Honestly,
so bad.
I like him a lot too much. I actually like him a lot. But like if the offer came,
yeah, if he doesn't get between 12 to 15 league goals, then, and like Chris said, there is still the same issues even under this manager, who's more of a attacking. Well, at the moment, we understand his philosophy is more attacking. I'd say if he's the one that doesn't play well, but we play well, yeah, and everyone else improves, or majority improves, and we go up the table and everything like that, then yeah, I would a good decent amount offer came in, then yeah, I would accept it.
Yeah,
Because then you're like going, so you've had so you had inexperience of Lampard, right? Stuff like that. Yeah, you had Tuchel come in. You had 2 years of Tuchel. You now had this guy Potter come in, different philosophy and everything like that, and more attacking philosophy that should suit your game. Everyone else around you, or nearly everyone else around you, is improving, but you're still showing the same traits. Then that's a you problem, and we can't afford to wait for you when we're going to probably buy another couple of forwards next year as well. So your position is just not, you're just not worth it, the time, because we tried now. Do you know what I mean?
I agree. It sucks, but I agree. Let's see if we can finish this video now.
But at the same time, we need to acquire talent that gets the best out. We do. We need to get goal scorers around Kai if he's playing false 9. In midfield, we need to get a creator, because Mount can't be that creator. We need to get a Cesc Fabregas type of player in this team, and trust me, they will improve.
So, I hear this all the time about we need to get a Cesc Fabregas-esque player in the team. But to be honest, outside of KDB, in world football, who else does what Cesc Fabregas did when he was at his prime?
Yeah, I think
Modric.
Is,
yeah, you could put Modric up there, but who?
Just to let everyone know, we're now past 1.4k subs, so thank you very much.
Sweet! Fuck yes! All right, cool.
Thank you very much.
That's a celebration soundtrack.
We did it! All right, 1500 next. Keep working. 1500 next.
That's 2k next.
I think the issue is not to. That's why I keep saying to people. It's like, that's why I don't look for KDB. He's 1 in a million. Yeah. There's no one like KDB. Do you know what I mean? We need to look for, because you're not going to find that supreme talent. We need people
Eriksen?
I would have loved Eriksen.
He would have been great.
Would have been fantastic.
But I don't think he would have been like a Cesc Fabregas.
No. But he would have been that type of player to progress the ball like that, to find passes. Some of his passing for Spurs, some of his assists he got for Spurs would be it. You know what I mean? Yeah, Aquari, heard the Aquari thing. But that's what I mean. It's like, but that's where scouting and the sporting director comes in.
Yeah.
Right? That's where we find our own either established that no one's ever heard of, or very rare people, and we snap him up. Or Maddison may have worked.
Yeah, Maddison.
He is that type of player.
Would you? I mean, I hate to bring this up. I mean, I'm only asking. Would you consider Thiago of Liverpool to be like close to like a Fabregas profile?
Yes, without
and he's
the
fit, obviously. Yeah, without the injuries.
He is a great.
Problem is, he's got a terrible injury record.
It's absolutely horrible. He's only available for like 3 games at a time. He's worse than N'Golo Kante, I would say.
I think
pretty close.
I think they're pretty close, yeah. But even at Bayern, they're terrible. Thiago profile, that's exactly right, and like that. So that's what you mean. You don't actually say the player, you say a profile.
Yeah.
So you go. I want that type, but knowing that, are they established or do they need to be? I'm not. It's like the midfield was like, for me. Everyone that doesn't like Jorginho's not very liked, but I would say fine, keep him, but buy a player like Ruben Neves to come in who could replace him and do his job, stuff like that, and then other things like that. So yes,
I hate reading this right now.
The issue is you're thinking of players that are already established name wise.
Yeah.
The issue with the sporting director and a scouting network is that you use your contacts to find players that no one's talking about, like this Russian kid, who was like had a KDB tag on him. How good is he? Like for the Wittner for PSG, the players that they got, stuff like that. It's fine. That's where your scouting comes in.
This
That's where
Enric
it's-
kid from Brazil. He's another
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
He's up there.
Exactly.
Okay,
Neves.
Yeah.
I'm so Neves for me. Everyone's go, oh, midfield. Neves was there for the taking, bro. They bought his replacement. The guy from Sporting Lisbon. They bought his replacement for 40 million. It probably would have cost us 60, 65 million, but he's 24. And if you watched him against Spurs, I know they lost 1-0, but he absolutely bossed that midfield. Nearly by himself against Spurs. It was a joy to see. He's going to get snapped. If we don't get him, he's definitely going to get snapped. I wouldn't be surprised if City somehow try and snap him up or something like that, or Liverpool. He can play for those teams. He can play for those teams.
Do you agree with this?
So, yeah.
I mean, outside of Neves,
I think they're very close. I think the midfield.
Really?
You've got Moutinho.
Yeah,
who's still kicking it, right? 36, 37.
Yeah.
You've got Neves, who is so underrated, it's unbelievable. And I can't remember the player's name they bought from Sporting Lisbon.
The Donker? Oh,
no. They bought from Sporting Lisbon 40 million. We were linked to him.
He's starting.
Yeah, he's starting. Yeah, so he's an absolute baller. Absolute baller. And when they sign him, and he's only 24, man. He's 24 years old. He's been there. Nunes. Thank you very much. They bought his replacement in Nunes. He was there. He was ready. That's Arsenal were linked with him. I thought he was going to go to Arsenal. I was so pissed that Arsenal were going to get him because he is that type of player. He is.
Wait, this is the same Nunes that we were linked with, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
24, 25. He's not even. Neves is not even in his prime.
Guys, there's a reason the channel is called Casually FC. I'm learning so much right now.
Yeah.
What do you learn?
Yes. No, I'm just learning that Wolves have a much better midfield than I gave.
Oh yeah, they got.
I didn't even know they got Mateus Nunes. I thought they were still sticking with the Donker and shit.
It's just their attack which stinks. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah. It's why they bought Jay Costa. Maybe he can do wonders for them.
Maybe. We'll see. Hopefully. Well,
hopefully,
hopefully Diego Costa's case. All right,
hopefully they beat the big teams first.
Yes, hopefully.
Whether they're bad players or good players, they have a lot of mitigating circumstances they can lean on. And that's the fact of the matter. Are they underperforming this season? Yes, they are. But in the next 5 games, if they start scoring, are a lot of people going to shut up? Yes, they are. But this was the Kavkas View, guys. I hope you enjoyed this impromptu video. I was just sitting on my couch and I thought, you know what? Let me make a video quickly. So hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts.
You guys do that.
That's unbelievable. We made an 8.5-minute video because he told us to wind forward. Last 1 hour, 12 minutes. Unbelievable. We're the only channel who could do that. That's why I say we should never do a 45.
We're very
video.
talented.
We'd be here for 3.5 hours.
We're a very talented group of individuals that can get juice content out of.
I don't know about that hand there.
Give us a minute and we'll make 30 minutes out of it. Hey, if there's a female equivalent channel, we last longer, baby. That's what I'm
So I sent out the link just for a little bit and see if you guys agree with what Alexis said and all that stuff.
Critique.
Yeah, maybe.
Alexis, if you want the link, let us know. You know what I mean? Well,
by all means.
Well, critique our critique.
Maybe it needs to do a reaction to a reaction.
We should have had him a reaction to a reaction. That's it. Or to our reaction.
This man's in bed. Yeah, I figured it'd probably be late, and it was so last minute too. So it is what it is.
We didn't put him to sleep.
Oh, that's great. But yeah, if you guys want to come on for a bit and discuss the video, come on in. But I don't disagree. Every react that we have here isn't always going to be necessarily something that we don't agree with. It's just we see. I look at the title, and if it's something that may spark a debate, then I bring it up. But
even the Johnny video wasn't all of us disagreeing with what he said.
No, not necessarily.
We disagree more. We agree. Disagree more than we did.
Even with the Johnny video, I think we agreed for the most part. I think we were 50-50 on it. We weren't necessarily disagreeing with everything he said.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Hassan, what are you saying, bro?
Same old one. Just wanting the international break to be over with, but
it's not even started, bro.
Yeah,
I thought it started today.
No, I just want it to be over with, man. It's just pointless.
You don't like international breaks?
No, it's just it causes injury to our players, man, unnecessary for us.
Probably.
Like if
Yeah, what do you
Kante
gotta
was fit, if Kante was fit,
Mhm.
he'd be injured by now.
That's
Yeah,
true.
probably.
That's a
But
possibility.
Hassan, what do you have to say about the Alexis's video? Do you agree with it, or did you,
I mean,
for the most
I
part, see it
agree.
the way we did?
I mean, I did see all of it, and I agree to some of it, and I wouldn't say disagree, but like, I get the whole point of him saying that both of them have to perform. I believe that they both have to perform, and for me, I think the funny thing is because I don't know if you've had just a comment or because I had to go do some of the last 10 minutes, and I asked you guys in the comments below, like if Bayern were to come around with 50, maybe 60 mil, including add-ons to buy Havertz, would you guys sell him if he doesn't perform this season?
I
Or
would.
Yeah, Chris,
Yeah, we
Chris
said if he
told us.
doesn't perform.
Yeah, we said we would.
I say this on Twitter as well.
If he
like,
doesn't perform, we said we would. Yeah,
It's not
I
bad.
think we all would.
I don't expect
Painfully,
him to
but
perform
yes.
all season. It's just I want to see some sort of improvement because he's
and
Yeah,
this would be his third year as
you
a
know what
member.
it is?
Yeah,
You know what it
third.
is, right, with Havertz? I think he's just like one of them players like
easily.
he's a bit like
yes, right now, immediately. Yes.
Oh, see,
I'm
I
sorry.
mean, Mount's
That might
I
be a
still
bad
want
take,
I
but-
still want Mason Mount to improve this season. So yeah,
To City, Marshall?
Yeah.
Send to City?
I look. Here's the thing, it's not Mount, it's the fan base. I hate to say it. It's such a illogical answer. I am so sick of this fan base in Mount. I really am. It's one of the most unintentionally toxic players in this football club. Is he worth the 60 million? Yeah, sure. Why not? Do I think he's an important player and he's going to be great? Yeah, probably. Right now, the way I see it, the way his output's been the past 4 seasons that I've seen him, 3 seasons that I've seen him, I would.
If we're going with output, a lot of these players need to be shipped out.
I don't disagree with that. I think we all agree. Yeah.
If you don't rate either player like highly, then you shouldn't matter where they go.
Yeah.
Because
to put this into perspective, if you want Mount out, I would say you probably need to ship out 90% of these players because Mount's been like in terms of output, he's been the youngest player to do like the double-digit goals and assists for Chelsea.
Hassan. And I'm saying this knowing that he, in accordance to our tech, in accordance to GNA, he is our best player. I am saying I would sell him. I would sell him even if he is our best player. I'm sorry that may not be what's best for Chelsea, but it actually might be what's best for Chelsea. I don't know, but
like
I don't know. Maybe I'm just being reactionary.
I think we should get rid of. I think we need to get rid of the whole lot, start and refresh. Like I just don't trust. Like even Tuchel came out and said to one of the Athletic reporters, the only reason why he's playing Mount back to back for so many games and basically overplayed him is because he's annoyed at how inconsistent the attack has been besides him. And last season,
he's reliable, which Alexis pointed out.
Let's be honest, we all call it for stop pod and stuff, but we needed that last season because the amount of times he bailed us out, like against Leeds, against all these teams. I'll guarantee you, if we weren't there, we would have got top 4. Like he also bailed us out in December. He has these. The problem is with Mount, he has these patches of games where he doesn't get anything, and then he'll have another patch where he just completely like he'll get like 10 GA in like 7 games or something. But I just think if he's not Chelsea standard, then all of the players that are below him are not Chelsea standard as well. Like I think he's the only like half decent player we got that would argue.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just annoying for me. I think the difference is with Mount, and because he's a poster boy, whether we like it or not, he is a poster boy. I think he'd stay more than Havertz would. I think Havertz would be the one to be shipped out more than Mount. If Bayern come knocking, I think Bowley would consider if Bayern came knocking.
Are you saying that in terms of like the player's desire, or in terms of the board wanting
the
to
board
ship
and
them
stuff.
out?
Like I
Okay,
feel like
okay.
because Boli's a stat-driven guy, he'll look at Mount's and his achievements for the last 2 seasons, and I believe if a 60 mil offer came for both, I think he'll consider Havertz more as an offer.
Okay.
Because
Right,
let's
and
be
you know
honest, I
what?
think Havertz would probably move as well.
You know what? Now that I think about it, maybe I am being too reactionary about selling him. I don't know. I'd have to think about it.
No,
but
you're not.
I'm
No,
not. I'm not.
you're
I'm
kind of
not.
not, but it's. I feel like you should consider.
The way I see it is like if we do sell our best player, if I hate saying that sentence alone, but
He's not.
if we were to sell him, then I feel like it just leaves a huge.
I
Unless we
think you should
replace
say
him
our
with like.
this fan base perceived best player.
Okay,
I was going to
sure,
say he's not
this
our best
fan
player. Our
base-
best player, especially in attack, is Sterling, and he's shown that this season. Sterling has
The
shown how
best
painfully
player-
average-
Yeah,
best
that's
player is
fair. That's fair.
deceptive.
This season,
I-
easily Sterling.
like Sterling has
Honestly,
shown
this
how
season is
Sterling has shown
Sterling,
how
but-
painfully average every other attacker we've
Mm.
got. I've said this on other streams, bro. All these
Yeah.
attackers, bar Sterling and Alba, they're all a bunch of pussies, and they can all eat for like it. I don't care.
Mm.
Keep Alba because you have to. Keep Sterling because he's actually good. Get rid of a lot of them. Get rid of all the rest.
The issue
And
I have
Broja.
with
Keep
the issue
Broja, obviously.
Keep
as well.
Bro up. Keep Bro. Yeah.
The issue I have with saying right now, if this summer a bid for Mount came, I'm worried that they would leave a huge gap in the attack that we cannot cover. As shitty as average as Mount has been for the club, I'm just
produces.
worried no one even steps up to that bar. It's so low, but no one. Pulisic can't step up to the bar. Havertz can't step up to the bar. Ziyech can't step up to that.
You
Like-
don't have to listen. You don't. The thing is, you don't have to sell Matt. You just have to treat him what his level is. I keep saying
Yeah.
his level is a Milner, is a Henderson, is a Darren Fletcher. That's the type of player he is. You don't have to sell Mount. You just don't have to.
And that's
start
not a
him all the
discredit.
time.
That's not a
And you can-
discredit because they're
That's
actually
not a discredit,
decent.
by the way. Stop thinking of Milner and Henderson now. Do
Actually,
your research
Milner,
and look
Milner
at-
was
look at-
actually
look at-
quality back in the
Yeah,
day.
look at Milner.
Yeah, he
and
was.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, and then what you do is, look how in January, look how shitty Leicester are doing. Put a cheeky bid in for James Maddison. You know, something like that.
I would
Who's
take
that?
Maddison. Honestly, 30 million. I think if you put, I think
I
they'd
don't know what.
consider.
Has he signed it? But the problem is, I think has he signed a new contract yet?
No, I don't
so.
think
Yeah,
yet.
he's still negotiating.
No, not yet.
He
Hey,
wants
you're
that
talking,
300K.
you know what
He
to
wants
do,
that
man.
Sterling paycheck. You know.
I'm 100% taking Madison, but yeah, that's the thing. Like, and with players like you just mentioned, like Henderson, like Milner,
And
they have a ceiling which they will inevitably hit.
Scott, you want to know what the funny thing is? I was on about Milner before, I looked at his like stats in terms of appearances. The guy has over 800, and that's what scares me the most.
He's
like,
been playing since he
Mount-
was 16.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
Mount's literally on what is he now? Nearly 200, 250. He's gonna hit that
168 for
period.
Chelsea alone.
He's,
168
yeah,
for
and,
Chelsea
and
alone.
he was like what, like 80 Derby,
He's probably
60
played 40 plus
Vitesse.
the Derby, Vitesse. He's probably
I'll have a
played
little look.
40, 50 games.
Yes,
He's probably
so
nearly
so
to-
he's gonna
probably nearer
hit
to
prime
300.
quite early in terms of football longevity. He's gonna burn himself out. Like by 24, 25, he'll be like a 28-year-old in terms of
He's
football.
played 175 games in the
Apparently
league.
apparently Mason Mount's done 297 games in total of his whole career.
Total, yeah, he's gonna
Yeah,
burn himself out. He's gonna burn
Wow.
himself.
Some of it's youth, like 5 games to youth, like league, whatever. But
No, but the thing is still applies because don't forget they do the training as well as playing matches. So he's gonna burn himself out a lot quicker than we think.
oh yeah, you look at Rooney as well. Rooney burnt out really quickly as well. Like he started playing at the age of 16, played a lot of games, and I think
There's
he
a
burnt out
difference
in
between a
29.
player. Obviously, this might come with time, but there's a difference with a player like Rooney. Rooney was able
Yeah,
to
yeah.
adapt how he played his game and was able to. He went from being an explosive striker to like moving back as a 10 to even at times playing as an 8 because like he
Yeah, but
adapted
let's
his
be
game
honest,
and
he was
he adapted
washed.
his game and still didn't have enough longevity to like keep going for as many years as he did. Like he had a
Yes.
good couple, like He was able to get it going as long as he could have.
He
but
was
it wasn't
good,
able to
but he was just
look
a
at a player.
shadow.
Look at a player like Michael Owen. Like for as good as
Oh,
he
yeah.
was, he could not keep his career going because
No.
he just couldn't adapt. He could not adapt. Couldn't keep his career going.
The
That's
thing
what
is,
the best
though,
players will do. They'll adapt their game over time. Like look at Cesc. Like they'll adapt their game over time to keep their career going. And as we're talking right now, it's difficult with Mount, but with the trajectory that he's going right now, I can't see him getting to that stage because in my mind, he's not learned anything in the past 3 years under Tuchel or under Lampard.
No, that's what, and also like with Vitesse and Derby County, you play a total of 80 games, so you add that on top. So
Chris said it's like 297
like
total.
200
So
games.
that's like he's gonna burn himself out quick. And what you said about Rooney, the difference is like Rooney, like even at United, you saw that complete package in him. You could see that he could offer more than just bugging goals, and a lot of people respected his game. Like despite him being an English player, I think he was quite quality. But let's be honest, like it gets to a certain point where if Mount hits that 500, 600 game, he's not going to be like the Mount that we knew when he broke through Chelsea. It's going to be like a washed up version. Like as harsh as that sound, he's probably going to be like a Ramsey 2.0, the way he's going right now. Or even a James Milner, you would say, because Milner up until what, like 28, 29, rapidly declined from there. I know he won the Champions League with Liverpool, but let's be honest, no Liverpool fan want him now.
So 1-2.
Milner
James
and
Milner.
even Henderson.
Yeah, they want to like move it along. Like yeah, well,
Like, they have
Henderson-
to. They're at the point with their midfield. They have to improve their midfield, and the person that's easiest to improve in their midfield is Henderson.
Yeah, I'll just
To
Henderson.
progress, that's what they
28.
need.
Yeah,
Henderson
Henderson was there since he
Like
was like
30, isn't it?
23,
It's like
24.
30.
I'm saying he must be 30.
He was
Yeah,
there
30.
since like before Klopp came in. He was there like
Yeah,
23,
yeah.
24.
He's
I remember
32.
Brendan.
Yeah,
I remember.
Henderson's
Oh
32.
jeez, I remember Brendan Rodgers telling Gerrard you had to play like Henderson more. Like
he's
he's
32.
definitely
He's 32. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
So he's like, that's what I mean. He's been there since 2000. But what I'm
Mhm.
saying is that's not. Listen, that's not. When I say Darren, like we keep saying, Darren Fletcher, Mason Milner, Jordan Henderson. Do not think of Jordan Henderson and Mason Milner as they are now. So James Milner as they are now. Think of them during their whole career. That's not bad.
Yes.
That's why they get to 800 or so games, because they are seen as reliable, and just put a logical ceiling on them. So then they don't disappoint you, because they're never going to reach what some people think.
To think of them as like that Lukaku tier. That Lukaku thinks he's elite, but he's just a tier below that. That's what you think. Like they're just top class players. They
Yeah.
might win a Champions League. You never know. Mount might win 1 or 2 league titles with us. Probably that's about it.
I've said it and I'll maintain it. If the only way we're winning a title with Mason Mount is if we surround him with elite players. That's the only way we're winning a title with Mason Mount.
He is
I
what
mean,
they
can't-
I mean, you're not wrong.
You can't rely
If we
on him
had
to
like
be the guy.
if we had like 8 elite players, we'd win the whole lot.
old school. You used to call him a utility player. That's what you used to call those type of players. That would just that could do a job for a short period of time.
Like a
Or,
Mikel.
could bring on certain minutes left. Who could do the job and see you through like that.
Like most players back in the day, that's if we had to be fair. Like I think
Yes.
Essien had to play as a
Yeah, a
center back at some
lot
point,
of
didn't he?
I
Or
mean,
am I
no,
thinking of
Essien
someone
had
else?
injury
Essien
issues.
was
Essien was
No,
quality.
Essien had to play
Essien-
as a left back, didn't he?
right back. He played nearly whole season.
Okay, there
right
you
back.
go. He had to play as a right back at one point, and this guy's a midfielder.
Probably cost us the league. So, anyway. Not that he was bad, but because we didn't have a good
Yes.
fit. That was so that was probably it. But I just like I said, that's what the narrative is going to be this season. It's going to be Kai versus Mount. That's what it is.
I hope not.
I think-
Oh,
It
no,
is,
no,
though,
no,
like, I tried to
Mount's
explain
playing
this
as a
to people.
scapegoat. Now that Werner is gone, once Ziyech goes in probably January,
That's why
Mount's
Kai's
gonna
getting
be the
more heat.
scapegoat.
I just don't understand the narrative, because it's like I've heard it was like, oh, but you can't put Havertz and Mount in the same boat because Mount's better than Havertz. Bro, to me, they're all in the same boat because they're all not good enough. Stop picking hairs between shit and shit. Like, Like, why are we debating two players that realistically aren't good enough to be starters for this football club if we want to get where we want to get and win titles?
I really think, and I really hope what Potter does is play one of them at a time and rotate them, please, because
The two still left to play.
what I need to stop seeing in these games is Kai or Mason getting in the way of each other. It's happening way too often in the games. We see them taking up the same exact spaces, and we're just not. And to an extent, that's limiting the options and the creativity that we have in the attack when you have two players taking up the same spaces that you don't need them to. You need them to make themselves options in other spaces that, to be frank, maybe this is a Tuchel tactic or maybe it's within the players. But how often are we attacking through the middle? The only player that I know on our squad currently that seems to attack through the middle is Ruben. He's been the only one that I've seen this season so far try to get something in the middle. And yeah, he doesn't shoot, but he's the only one doing that. So,
Yeah, I'll be real. Kai can't play the next game. Kai cannot be
And people are begging for João Felix to come here. He's literally a Havertz 2.0, man.
Well,
he's a Havertz 2.0.
I just want a 10 that has some vision and knows how to play a pass.
I was thinking maybe
I'm asking for the literal bare minimum from my 10 to be able to play in half spaces, to be able to have vision, and to be able to find a pass. Like, not even asking for De Bruyne, not even asking for a Maddison. I'd honestly take a Pascal Gross or a McAllister type. Like, that is where we are at. We are at the bottom of the barrel. We are scraping the true. I would take. Bro, let's go and have a look at who's at the bottom of the table.
Oh, listen, bro. Anthony, as much as you guys want to shit on him, Anthony Gordon takes on. I'm saying Gordon from Everton. He's more directed than our attackers, and he's dog shit.
I don't know.
I don't know if he's dog shit.
Gordon ain't
actually say he's.
That's the attacking Marshall.
He's not Chelsea level.
He's not dog shit. Let's get it. Let's have it right. He's not dog shit. He's one of Everton's better players. But he's not
now
dog
he is probably.
He's not.
They're gone. Their attackers are gone.
You could say he's average, but I'm not gonna sit here and let you say he's dog shit. That's just not true.
He's been better than
this season.
Everyone apart from Sterling.
Oh yeah, this season. Yeah.
No, but that's what I mean. Right. The bar is actually so low.
That's our last quarter.
To be fair, as long as it is, that is kind of what the bar is at. That's my point. Is like, realistically speaking, I want like someone like a De Bruyne type 10. I want someone who's the very best in that position. But I would take anything at this point, as long as I said, it's a 10 that can play in half spaces and has an eye for a pass. I'd take someone from the Championship at this point if they had those attributes.
Andrew, as much as you don't like Maximin walks into this team.
I have to take Maximin. He's just not worth 100 mil.
Yes, I agree with that.
I just don't expect any end product.
Yeah. Yeah.
But also the thing with St. Maximin now is he just doesn't fit in the way we want to play. Like I don't think he's going to be able to play in the kind of winger / wing back hybrid role that Sterling's playing in.
I just don't think he's reliable. I think he's too injury prone. He would just have another injury prone player. I don't think he's had a season where he's been fit the entire season.
You might have a little knock now and then, but he's not had any serious injuries.
Still an injury.
He's not like a Pulisic. Remember when he kept getting injured over and over, and he came out for training and he got injured.
Which, by the way, I mean, we'll probably talk about this more on Saturday. Which, by the way, what did you do, Pulisic? And now all of a sudden you're not injured.
Yeah, he's never injured now, is he?
Maybe you should have done that sooner, but that's besides the point.
Maybe he's not starting as much.
He's the most insecure little bitch I've ever met in my life.
Scott, if you want, Sunday we're gonna go in on him. Me and myself, the Americans included. You can join in on that.
Man has done literally all in his career.
Yeah,
like apart from like, fair enough, he got a goal in the semi or whatever it was in the Champions League, and fair enough, he scored the winning penalty when your country a Gold Cup. Fair enough, but the way that he gets spoken about by American fans and his own manager, and the way that he like speaks about himself, like this man has way too big of an ego for a dude that he got dropped out of his own team for Jadon Sancho. Talk less, my guy. Please talk less.
Save it for Saturday. I'm gonna save it for Sunday, rather. Sunday.
Fraud
Then
watch,
we'll
man.
go
That's
in.
what
And
you.
Gabriel, what are you saying, brother? And you're the last caller, so then we'll end it right here. Your mic is muted, by the way, Gabriel.
Just waiting for the intro.
There you go. You want me to give you? I need a drum roll. Damn it. All right, well, you give me ideas for what I need on my soundboard. Go ahead, Gabriel.
A bit. It might be changing the subject slightly, but I was just reviewing the last pre-Abramovich squad that played for Chelsea.
Mm-hmm.
And the irony being, compared to this team that we've got now, post-Abramovich, early Todd era, but effectively still the remnants of the Abramovich era. We had Hasselbank. We had Good Johnson up front. We had Desai in defence. We had Gallas in defence. We had Graham Lasso. Lampard was there in midfield. So I didn't even know, maybe I didn't even know what I'm saying now, but the point being, the irony of going for a 20-year cycle, it almost feels like in attack, we're worse off. And, like with the Pulisic thing, he's clearly a bit of a sport brat. We've seen his father's reactions, so no doubt he's a product of his father's arrogance, bringing out a biography at the age of autobiography at 23. And it's funny how this book has been clearly updated since Tuchel was sacked. He added those passages in because any book that's going to be published, it obviously takes many months to produce. So there's a premeditated aspect to that in order to, bring more sort of PR to him. My journey so far. It's like, well, what's your journey so far as a 23-year-old player who's flopped
It's gonna make my
a top
head
club?
dizzy with the amount of I'm shaking my head. It's just, oh my goodness. Continue,
But anyway,
I'm sorry.
going back, the predominant discussion has been around the Mount and Kai Havertz issue.
Mm-hmm.
Mount, I think he has also been a bit of a victim of circumstances in terms of he's been thrown in at the deep end. He had a great early part of his career under Lampard, but a lot of pressure has been put on him. And similarly with Kai, he's been signed as this wonder kid, a wunderkind, as they say in Deutsch. Again, because of our recycling of managers, no clear sort of vision. That's why I'm sort of the opinion, give them time, but maybe we need to wipe the slate clean and go all behind a sort of project. And if we lose certain so-called promising players, be it Hudson-Odoi, be it Kai Havertz, Mount I would reserve because I think he's got that sort of Cobham tax. It's always going to be revered by most of the fans. So I think we've just got to be patient and go behind the project.
The thing is, though, Gabi, my only question to that is, or my only sort of challenge to that is, based on statistics alone, Tommy had like 15 goals. We gunned him not because of statistics, it's because of performance and eye test. Should we not hold the same standard of these players to that? The way like Kai Havertz has been ghosting, getting bodied by like average mid-table defenders. Like if that was Tommy, we'd cook him. The way he was dribbling down.
No, I agree with you, brother. I agree. Maybe I haven't got my point across. I agree with you. For me, I'm taking a more personal sort of stance in terms of I feel sorry for the players, to be honest. I feel bad for Kai. I feel bad for Werner. I feel bad for Mount. I feel bad for a lot of these signings that have been bought for Ziyech even for big money. I think they've been sold a pup. I blame the institution of the way Chelsea have been run for many years. I think it's all been scattergun. It's been like Lego. That's I think I used that in a stream previously. Chelsea, the way the squad has been built is like Lego. There's been no sort of, when I say Lego, I mean like the multicolored type of, this piece goes here, that piece goes there, with no sort of forward thinking, no sort of vision of how the pieces come together.
I mean, can't really blame the club too much for that, because it seemed like it was a working model for them for years. It was winning us trophies. We're sacking and hiring managers and winning trophies here
Keeping
and there.
the standards high. Well, a little high.
Yeah, but no, I see.
No, I disagree. No, sorry, Marshall. No, I think that's the whole point. I think because Roman, again, I'm not rewriting history. I appreciate the winning era, but maybe because I was the pre-Roman era, I'm all before a vision. You can't.
Yeah.
I think
But you don't think?
we've won a lot. We've won a lot in spite of the era, rather than because.
My question is, Gabriel, do you think if the sanctions didn't happen, Roman would have been a bit more patient with Tuchel and stuck it out with Tuchel and try to do a project with Tuchel? Because it seems like we're here talking about how like this was a model that was working, but I think even the board was starting to realize that this model isn't going to work in the long term. We eventually have to do a project, and it's not going to be Lampard. Let's do a project with Tuchel. Do you think that was the case?
Yeah, look, there were rumors beforehand. You're right. You've reminded me. There were rumors about, I forget the exact context, but there was the sense that irrespective of how things were going within the squad, Roman was going to be supportive of Tuchel. But where's the but, Andrew?
It's all if
also
maybe.
There are always rumours that Marina and Cech didn't want to get rid of Lukaku. If Lukaku would have stayed, I think Tuchel walks. No matter what he said.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I think he walks.
So you think he would have fallen out with the board?
Because also, I don't think we would have sold even half or got rid of half the players that we've got rid of.
Did you know over 40 players?
Yeah.
Over 40
the
players
thing
left
is, right? The
our
irony
squad
is,
this year.
I believe that the relationship of Tuchel and Todd went sour because of the whole getting rid of Marina, the old regime that he wanted these players to come through them and buy them. I feel like that was the irony, because if you think about it,
wait, hold on.
Let me finish my point.
But hold on, no, Hassan. But like, what I have to question your point, because why would the relationship between Tuchel and Bully go sour for that when
because
Bully
of
had
the whole
nothing to do with that?
footballing opinion and footballing.
I get that, but like, the board chose to leave.
No, they got paid off and sucked.
How do you
Some of them
know
Yeah,
that?
because they got different.
It's termination.
They got different visions and philosophy.
I think it was termination. It was contract termination. I think it was on the government website.
They didn't want to because they didn't want to continue. The reason Marina was probably always going to go, but they wanted her to stay to oversee the transfers and then go. Same with Cech. The reason I believe one of the few reasons Marina left was because they both wanted to keep Lukaku, and Tuchel didn't. I believe Tuchel never wanted to keep Lukaku because he wanted.
In some ways, Marina going
in the dressing room.
No, but in some ways, if Marina was there, like you said, if Lukaku would have stayed, what type of players would she have attracted?
Exactly, and she wouldn't have paid the prices.
Well, there you go. So I agree
I
with
was
you.
going to say
Actually.
we're not
think-
getting Fofana or Kukurea if
No chance.
Marina's still
Yeah,
here.
would even we might not even get Sterling.
We would have
even
been
move
like
for
Man
Koulibaly.
City.
She wouldn't even move for
No,
Koulibaly.
I reckon we might have got Sterling just because he's about on the cusp
45
of like
million,
what's
yeah.
a decent
Yeah,
price.
yeah, no,
But
Sterling
we're
was at
never getting
45.
Kukurea. We're never
Yeah.
getting Fofana. Like
Or-
those
or
aren't happening.
Koulibaly or something like that.
No, I
never.
reckon Koulibaly maybe.
No,
because
no.
again,
I
it's
think
like
it was
pricing.
Sterling, Koulibaly, and Koundé. I think that's it.
She might have looked at the age and the
That's
price
what I
of
mean.
it.
She wanted.
Exactly.
She wanted.
Do you remember 2 years ago, Marina was lauded as the greatest powerhouse in football?
Gavi,
The greatest woman. What was she? The most powerful
Right.
woman in football, etc., etc. But ultimately, look again, revisionist. You could call it revisionist history. I've been quietly behind the scenes. I've honestly reflected on a lot of the Roman era, and on reflection, I think it's actually not been as great as we pretend to be, because we've won trophies, yes, but the
Mhm.
whole structure of the club. This is why we're left with all this mess. All
Yeah.
play. I'll be honest. One more thing just to add, and I'm not gonna go on and on. I'm gonna leave soon.
Okay.
If I was the father of a promising talent youth player,
Okay. I wasn't
No.
sure where you were going with that.
no, hang on, no, I was gonna say if I was the father of a promising player,
Yeah.
17, 18 years old, and Chelsea came in for them at that point, I would say don't join Chelsea, because you're only going to be loaned out you're going to be farmed out endlessly, and there's going to be no clear pathway. At least now, I hope under Bowley's, again, could be PR cult vision, there's going to be a more sort of clearer picture of how a player is going to develop up the ranks.
Maybe.
And I'm going to leave now and let you guys carry on. Good night.
Cheers, Gabriel.
All right, thanks for coming
Always
on,
welcome.
Gabriel. We appreciate it, man. Always welcome.
The thing I was going to say is that while we've won trophies on the pitch, off the pitch we've not evolved.
No.
Like with the other teams, like with Liverpool, like with City. City are the best run club probably in Europe.
Oh, they are.
There's
and
no,
as well,
there's no doubt.
Yeah.
There's no doubt they have the
That's
structure.
why,
I would argue now that basically Cobham's slowly declining. I would argue, say, I think City's academies edged it.
Cobham
And
does
in terms of talent.
No, but Cobham does what it youth programs. This is it. The youth program is run how it's supposed to be run. In terms of that, it gives the guys an education as well as a football education, but it also prepares them for life with and without football. That's what it does. Because, like I say, most of the kids in the academy, every academy, aren't going to make it. They're not good enough to make it at the highest level. There's only a few stars and gems in every single academy. Okay, so not all of them are gonna make it. But
I know what you mean, Andrew, but
the program itself is actually run how it's supposed to be run by setting up the guys for the future with or without football.
I was referring to the actual Cobham success of trophies. That's what I was saying, not the actual Cobham itself.
Right. But
because I was going to say that Man City's academy from under 23 to under 18s have all won their league titles in a row.
Okay, so that's great. But the thing is, and as we've seen it this summer, they sold a lot of youth talent this summer. They sold a lot of youth talent as well.
Yeah, they sold them to Southampton as well.
Yeah, sold them to Southampton. Yeah. They put like buybacks on them. But I bet they won't actually activate them. Maybe that Lavia kid, because he looks quite decent. But whether they do or not. But that's what we used to do. That's why we got 20 million for Gurhi, because even when he hadn't even played a game for us, that's what we used to do. That's what the academy's there for, and that's what we'll probably go back to, having the academy again, because we can't loan out a lot of players anymore.
Yep.
And the loan system's changed, so we're probably going to end up doing that, where we get these kids through the door and then sell them on, because when they're not
for obligations.
There's going to be only one. We're very over. Our squad has too many youth products in it. At the same time, do you know what I mean? Like we have Reece James, we have We have Mason Mount. We have Chalobah. We have
Ruben.
Cho. I know he's on loan, but
I
do
mean,
you know
for
what I mean?
fuck's sake, at one point we had what? Ruben,
Ruben.
James, Mason,
There
Cho,
was arguments
Tammy,
for
all on the
Sky
same
Sports to
squad.
put us. I
Tomorrow,
remember there was. Oh, sorry about that, but I remember there was a Sky Sports talking about how literally the England starting 11 could have been Chelsea's.
Didn't we have
That's
5 or
how
6 in the squad at once? In the
Yeah,
England
we
squad,
had
we had 5 or
Loftus,
6.
Cho,
Yeah.
Ruben, Mount, James. That's 5, and
Joel.
they were all England at one point. And there was Tomori as well. That's 6.
Oh yeah, Tamori. Yeah, we had Tamori.
That's what I mean.
All 6 were at England at one point.
But we've seen it with City.
Oh,
But we've seen it with City and Liverpool off the pitch, how they run by getting in quality players. Now they're not superstars, but they're quality players, right? That you know, that's how the scouting and the sporting director has worked, because they've got they've gone on to be quality players. They might have cost a bit like 30 or 40 or something at that time, but they've gone on. Very rarely has the only issue that City tend to have is fullbacks. That's the like in terms of. Like, you know, I know Cancelo's been a hit, but it took him a year or 2 to settle in. But other than that, I mean, Liverpool, you know, they need to rejuvenate their squad, but they hardly any, you know, they've had a few little transfers that haven't really worked out. But, you know, buying Salah for 37 million,
That's not true.
where they were laughed at, buying Diaz, you know, stuff like that. That's what we need to go back to. We need to go back and do that. We need to start doing that.
It says a lot, though, that City have a £1 million flop in their team, and it means
100 million, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It means literally nothing because they're still top. Yeah. They're still probably going to win the title. Like, who cares? Like, it literally doesn't make a difference to their squad. He's a £100 million flop, and it makes no difference to their squad.
Yeah, and they'll probably end up selling him maybe in the summer 2 years. I'm probably getting 60 back. So in the end, what is the difference?
Bring him to Chelsea. But all right, boys. Any final thoughts before we wrap it up?
Nothing much. The players are on forward watch.
Damn minerals.
Tuchel out.
Oh.
Let's have it right.
All right, ladies and gents, make sure you are smashing that like button. We appreciate you guys getting us to 1,400. 1,500 is the next goal. Let's go and get it. Let's get these minerals. Let's get these vitamins. Make sure you're checking the links in the description for Alexis's channel. Show the homie some love over there. Big shout out to Alexis who joined us in this little watch along in the chat. And we'll see you guys again, I believe, Saturday, where we'll be doing eye test versus hard work. Right, Andrew? I believe that's that's the term.
I thought it was going to be eye test versus stats.
This will be hilarious. This will be banter FC for
like
sure.
I said on the other stream, I've got my midfield already, and it's gone.
Oh, my days. But all right, ladies and gents, smash that bell so you don't miss our future stream, and that stream especially. We want you guys to be a part of that. And yeah, we'll catch you next time on Casually FC. Peace out.